The rain came down in sheets that Thursday evening, turning the bus stop into a small waterfall. Natalie Monroe sat on the bench trying to shield her daughter from the worst of it. Her body ached from standing all day at the diner where she worked, double shifts. Her feet throbbed in shoes that had holes she kept covering with cardboard, but none of that compared to the weight in her chest. The eviction notice in her purse felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. 3 days. That was all the time. She had left. Natalie was 29 years old with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail that had come loose during her shift. Her uniform was still damp from spilled coffee, and her hands smelled like dish soap. Beside her sat Lily, 4 years old. With strawberry blonde hair and pigtails and eyes too wise for her age, she clutched a worn teddy bear that had been her father's last gift before he left 2 years ago, Mama. Lily said softly, "Are you crying?" Natalie quickly wiped her eyes. "No, baby." She lied. "It is just the rain on my face." But Lily knew children always know. The little girl pressed closer to her mother, trying to offer comfort. The only way she knew how, Natalie pulled Lily onto her lap. Even though her legs were numb from exhaustion, she wrapped her thin jacket around both of them. It did little against the cold October rain. The bus was late. Again, Natalie checked her phone. The battery was at 2%. Of course it was. Everything felt like it was falling apart at once. She thought about the eviction notice, about the landlord who had finally lost patience after 3 months of partial payments, about the second job she had applied for but never heard back from, about the food bank that was only open on Tuesdays, about the shame she felt every time she had to choose between feeding Lily and paying the electric bill. "Mama, look," Lily said, pointing down the street. Through the curtain of rain, Natalie could see a man walking toward them. He wore an expensive dark suit that was getting soaked. His hair was slicked back from the rain, and he walked with purpose. Despite the weather, as he got closer, Natalie could see he was younger than she first thought. Maybe 35, with strong features and an intensity in his dark eyes. He was talking on his phone, clearly agitated. "I do not care what the board thinks," he said sharply. "Tell them if they cannot support the expansion, then they can find another CEO." He ended the call abruptly and slowed his pace as he approached the bus. "Stop." His eyes landed on Natalie and Lily huddled together on the bench. For a moment, he just stood there in the rain, staring. Then something shifted in his expression. Natalie looked away. She had learned that eye contact with wealthy men often led to assumptions she did not want to deal with. "Excuse me," the man said. His voice was different now. Softer. Natalie pretended not to hear him. "Miss?" he tried again. "Are you all right?" Lily tugged on her mother's sleeve. "Mama, he is talking to you." Natalie finally looked up. "We are fine," she said quietly. "Thank you." The man studied them both. His gaze took in their wet clothes, Lily's 2 small shoes, the teddy bear missing an eye, Natalie's tired face. "You do not look fine," he said. It was not said unkindly, but Natalie felt her defenses rise anyway. "We are waiting for the bus," she said. "In this weather, we do not have much choice." The man glanced down the empty street. "The buses stopped running this route 20 minutes ago," he said. "There was an accident that blocked the road." Natalie felt panic rise in her throat. How would they get home? They could not afford a cab. It was too far to walk, especially in this rain with Lily. "Do not cry, Mommy," Lily whispered, looking up at her mother's face. Then the little girl turned to the stranger. "Maybe that man will help us," she said with the simple faith of a child who had not yet learned that the world was not always kind. The man looked at Lily, and something happened to his face. The hard edges softened. "Your daughter is right," he said. "I can help." He pulled out his phone. "I can call you a car," he offered. "No charge." Natalie wanted to refuse. Pride was sometimes all she had left. But then she looked at Lily, shivering against her. "Why would you do that?" Natalie asked the Man was quiet for a moment because someone helped me once when I needed it, he said finally, and I have never forgotten. Before Natalie could respond, he was already making the call. A car will be here in 5 minutes, he said. Then he shrugged off. His suit jacket. Here, he said, holding it out to Lily. You look cold. We cannot. Natalie started to protest. Please, the man said. It is just a jacket. But they both knew it was not just a jacket. It was probably worth more than Natalie made in a month. Lily reached for it anyway. The man draped it around her small shoulders. It swallowed her completely, making her look even tinier. What is your name? He asked Lily gently. Lily, she said, and this is my mama Natalie, and my bear is Mr. Buttons. Hello, Lily, the man said with a slight smile. I am James Thornton. He looked at Natalie. May I sit? Natalie nodded. There was something about him that did not feel threatening. Maybe it was the way he had looked at Lily, with kindness rather. Then Pity James sat down on the wet bench, not seeming to care that his expensive suit was getting ruined. So Lily, he said, tell me about Mr. Buttons. And just like that, Lily began to chatter. She told him how Mr. Buttons was very brave and protected her at night, how he liked peanut butter sandwiches but not jelly, how he missed having 2 eyes but was still handsome. James listened like she was telling him the most important story in the world. Natalie watched this interaction with a mixture of gratitude and suspicion. Why was this wealthy man being so kind? What did he want? Your daughter is delightful, James said to Natalie. Thank you, Natalie said. She hesitated, then added quietly, and thank you for the ride. James waved this off. It is nothing. It is not nothing, Natalie said. Not to us. Their eyes met, and Natalie saw understanding there. You have had a hard day. James said it was, not a question. Natalie let out a breath. A hard year, she admitted. She did not know why she was telling him this. Maybe because she was so tired of carrying it all alone. Would it help to talk about it? James asked. I am a stranger, Natalie said. Why? Would you care? Maybe that is exactly why it would help, James replied. Sometimes strangers are easier to talk to than friends. Lily had fallen asleep against Natalie's shoulder. The warmth of James's jacket and the relief of knowing they would get home had relaxed her. Natalie stroked her daughter's hair. We are being evicted, she heard herself say. The words hung in the air. When? James asked quietly. 3 days. Do you have somewhere to go? Natalie shook her head. Not yet. James was quiet. Then he said, Tell me about yourself, Natalie. So she did. She told him about working 2 jobs, about Lily's father who left when things got hard, about trying to give Lily a normal childhood while barely keeping them afloat, about the shame of needing help, about the fear of failing her daughter. James listened without interrupting. When she finished, he said, You have not failed anyone. I am losing our home, Natalie said. You are surviving impossible circumstances, James corrected. There is a difference. Black car pulled up to the curb. Your ride. James said. He helped Natalie stand with Lily in her arms. As they walked to the car, James said, Wait! He pulled out his wallet and handed Natalie a business card. I own a company that manages several properties. He said, We are always looking for good people. Natalie looked at the card. Thornton Holdings. I do not have any experience in property management, she said, but you have experience in working hard and caring about doing things right, James said. That is what matters. He opened the car door. Call that number tomorrow, he said. Ask for me directly. Natalie settled Lily into the back seat. The little girl stirred slightly. Bye, Mr. James, she mumbled. Thank you for helping my mama. You are welcome, Lily, James said. He looked at Natalie. I mean it about the job, he said. Call me. As the car pulled away, Natalie looked back through the rain. James was still standing at the bus stop, in his soaked suit, watching them go. The next day, Natalie called the number. James answered on the second ring. "I was hoping you would call," he said. 2 weeks later, Natalie started work as a property coordinator at Thornton Holdings. The pay was double. What she made at the diner, James had also arranged for them to stay in one of his company apartments until they got on their feet. No deposit required. The first day at work, James stopped by her desk. "How is Lily?" he asked. "She talks about you all the time," Natalie said. "She says you are her friend." "She is right." James said over the following months, something unexpected happened. James began stopping by Natalie's desk more often, always with a legitimate work question. But, staying to talk longer than necessary, he met Lily when he gave Natalie a ride home one rainy evening. The little girl lit up when she saw him, Mr. "James," she squealed, "you came back. I promised I would," he said. He had brought Mr. Buttons a new eye. Lily was overjoyed. Natalie watched James carefully sew the button onto the bear while Lily supervised. This wealthy CEO sitting on her worn couch. Fixing a teddy bear 6 months after they met, James asked Natalie to dinner, like a date. Natalie asked, surprised. "Exactly like a date," James said. "If you are interested, why?" Natalie asked, "Why me?" James thought about this. That night at the bus. "Stop," he said. "When you were at your lowest, you still chose dignity over desperation." He continued, "You did not ask me for anything. And you looked at me like I was a person, not a bank account. Also," he added with a smile, "Lily said I should ask. You out." "She did not." Natalie laughed. "She did." James insisted. "Last week she told me that I should marry her mama so she could have a dad again." Natalie felt her face heat. "I am so sorry." "Do not be," James said. "It made me realize I wanted the same thing." 1 year later, James and Natalie were married in a small ceremony. Lily was the flower girl. She took her job very seriously. At the reception, James gave a speech. "A year and a half ago, I was having the worst day of my career." He said, "I was angry and frustrated. Then I saw a woman and a little girl at a bus stop in the rain." He looked at Natalie. "I could have walked past, but Lily pointed at me and told her mother that maybe I would help. She was right, but what I did not know then was that they would help me more than I could ever help them." He raised his glass to the little girl who believed a stranger could be kind, and to the woman who taught me that real wealth has nothing to do with money. Natalie stood and hugged her husband. She thought about that rainy night, how desperate she had felt, how certain she was that things would never get better. She looked at Lily dancing with James's mother, at their new family, at the life they had built together. Sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes a rainy night leads to a clear tomorrow. And sometimes the kindness of a stranger changes everything. Not because they solve all your problems, but because they remind you that you are not alone, that you are seen, that you matter. If this story warmed your heart, please like and share it with someone who needs a reminder that difficult seasons do not last forever. Subscribe for more stories about hope and unexpected blessings. Comment below and tell us about a time when a stranger's kindness made a difference in your life. Your story might inspire someone else to extend a helping hand today.